everybody. Welcome back to TomGirl. I have missed you so much the last 2 weeks. We are back, and this is episode 43, and I am with group fitness instructor and certification junkie, Lacey Martin. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, this is Lacey's selection. Soak this in, Macklemore. We're going to talk about the reasoning behind this song in a little bit later tonight. But thank you so much for joining us, Lacey.
Thank you for having me, JJ.
Where can everybody follow you on social media?
Oh, on Instagram, I'm fun.fit.lacey. And then I have Twitter. I'm not awesome at Twitter, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's fun_fit_Lacey.
Her Instagram, you guys, is awesome. So follow that because there's lots of motivational things there and you'll love it. So you guys can follow the show at TomGirl TV on Twitter and Instagram. So let's get right down to it. So you are with, and I always say it wrong, the Lagree Fitness.
Lagree Fitness. Yes.
I've known you how many years now? Like,
oh gosh,
your
how
class
many
for a
years
long
now?
time.
Like at least 6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been going to your class. You do a lot of the early morning classes, some 5:45s and 6:30s and all kinds of stuff.
Earlier
there.
the better.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm the morning person. And when they ask me to sub nights, I'm like, oh God, please no. I'm like in bed by like 8 p.m. So.
Yeah. What time, when you have the 5:30 class, 5:45, what time are you up in the morning to take it there?
Well, it used to be 4:15, and I very slowly, it took me about 2 years to inch it back to 4:30. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like 15 minutes later because I was getting to the studio so early, and I was just sitting there being like, okay, what do I do now?
But you're always like up and ready, like you just fired up in the morning.
Yeah, I've always been a morning person since I can remember, and so I don't like. Some people have morning rituals and things. I don't do any of that. I don't sit down in the morning. I get right out of bed. I get ready. I like make green tea and go straight to work. So as soon as I'm ready, I like run out the door. It doesn't matter what time I get to the studio. Usually it's like 5 a.m. for the 5:45 class, which is crazy.
Well, let's talk about, for some people that don't know what Lagree Fitness is. This is a workout that a lot of people do, a lot of celebrities. We went in the post that like it was Meghan Markle, one of her favorite workouts. So tell us a little bit about the philosophy behind it and what it is.
Sure. Well, it is on a machine, and so a lot of people think that it is Pilates because the only thing you can equate it to is like a reformer. It's not, however. It is more, I think the best way to describe it is like a Pilates-inspired circuit training workout. So it's very intense. We work major muscle groups back to back. So let's see if I'm designing a class, I'm going to do a bunch of core work, and then I'm going to do a bunch of right leg that hits like glute and hamstring together so that muscle gets really fatigued and you start to shake a little bit. There's a phrase that says, if it's not shaking, it's not Lagree. So like we literally want you to vibrate a little bit while you're in class. And then, I would go to left leg and then maybe right oblique and do like literally like 3 or 4 right oblique moves back to back to make that muscle really tired and then switch it up. So there's no rest, minimal breaks, fast transitions, and then we move really, really slow in the movements to get something called slow twitch muscle fiber, which is like the lean part of the muscle, which burns more calories to heal back. And then the more lean muscle you have, the more calories you need to survive, basically. So I always say that to my classes because I'm like kind of a nerd and I like to watch a lot of TV. I love fitness, but I also have a lazy streak. So I'm like, you get to burn more calories while watching Netflix. Isn't that amazing? Like by building that lean muscle.
And then, so I know, like, you think that there's not a lot of, like some people want to go to a treadmill and have a lot of cardio, but you still get your cardio in a little bit with this workout.
No, absolutely. If you actually, science is pointing out that circuit training is actually as effective as classical cardio. So you could go and do your strength training in sort of circuit style with minimal rest, and then it's as beneficial as going and running on the treadmill in intervals or elliptical or whatever you normally do. So the cardio part is really important to me in the class because I don't want to run anywhere. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good in my body. Like I feel it in my joints and my neck. And so when I plan my class, I really try to plan for transitions first. And if that means that like maybe I'm not the most creative trainer in like sequencing, that like, switching it up every time for you. It's more about like, what move can I get them in now as quickly as possible so their heart rate doesn't come down. And that's how I like to do the class. I want people sweating. I want them to leave going, okay, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else, but I can if I want to. You know what I mean? But it's not necessary. Like if you're busy, you're like one and done. 45 minutes, you're good.
That's what's awesome is that it is only 45 minutes, so it packs such a punch. And you really do. I have to say, like, I've been a big runner or, soul cycler, all different kinds of things. But I will say, like, it does, I know Meghan Markle's, her quote was like, it's the best thing that you could do for your body. And you can talk more about why she said she got started in it as well. But I find that it does lean you out the fastest than any like workout I've tried, and gives you like also not just leans you out to like be skinny but it gives you definition and tone and helps your posture for those of us that do this all the time, like me sitting at a desk. Yeah, me too. I lean in. But yeah, so talk about some of those other benefits and things from it.
The biggest thing I think is you really get strength gains from it as well. You get stronger without getting bigger. A lot of women are really concerned about that. So it's I don't know what to say. It's like cardio, it's strength training, it has the sort of the alignment properties of Pilates as well. So we're really focusing on like kinetic chain and like aligning your shoulders over your hips and squaring off your hips and really putting you in the best position for your body. So I do a lot of back work as well because I come from a place where I had terrible posture growing up. And I still revert to that a little bit when I go home. I notice everyone's like hunched over. And I guess I can talk about that too. I'm from Maine, like not the cool part, like the woods where there's nothing to do. I go home and I'm like, I would love to take a spin class. No, there are no spin classes there, So I think I used to run for fitness because there was nothing else to do. I mean, we have a couple gyms where you can lift weights, but unless you know what you're doing, I couldn't afford a trainer in Maine. Like it just wasn't going to happen. So I do a lot of back work now to sort of stretch you out. Like you said, you sit at a desk all day. We lean forward, we drive, we text, we do all these things that make us super tight across the front and across our shoulders. So for me, I just think back work is number one. And I always tell, and this is my thing lately, I was like, no matter what you do, if you have a defined back, people know that you work out. Like, there's no other way. Like, you're not going to get it by not working out. So, like, that's my new goal as I get older. It's, like, not to look perfect anymore. It's for people to look at me and go, oh, she takes care of herself. Like, she works out. That's, like, it. And that makes me so happy. So, in LA in the summer when we've got tanks and bathing suits on, it's, like, that back, man. Like, back and triceps, if those are toned, then you're good. Like, don't stress about anything else.
I love how you bring that into your class, too, because you've already started, like, telling us, hey ladies, swimsuit season's around the corner. So you've been doing a lot of abs and core work and side stuff for us so we can all get rid of the side stuff.
And then a lot of glute work. We do tons of glute because that's where the calorie burn really comes from. So if you want all over weight loss, it's really from the glute. I think I've been saying these things over and over again. My poor clients like you who come to me all the time, you hear these things like a broken record. But so the gluteus medius is the largest muscle by volume in the body. So when you wear it out and it has to heal back, it takes so many calories to heal. And so that's sort of how you get all over definition is from the legs. So we do a lot of leg work, and men don't love it, but it's good for them so they don't look like they're going to fall over. They don't look like they skipped leg day when they come to us. But it's great for summer. So back work, leg work, oblique work, those are like my favorite things to do.
And I love that you just mentioned the men too. This is not something just for ladies. There are lots of men in the class and regulars and that really enjoy it and see them sweating and getting their workout on.
It's literally my favorite thing of doing this workout and teaching it is when you get the man that comes in that doesn't want to be there, but his partner dragged him. And they're like, no, you need to know what I do. And they take class and they get their ass handed to them. Like it's my favorite thing. And I had a private client, and I really hope that she's going to watch this now because I'm really excited. I got her ready for her wedding. I was working on her and her mom. And after the wedding, after the workout, her fiance would take her to the gym for an hour. And he'd be like, okay, like I'm going to lift, you do cardio, do whatever, but like we need to work out. She's like, I'm so tired. Like, I just did Lagree with Lacey. Like, I'm so tired. And he was like, nah, it's Pilates. You're fine. And then she brought him to a private, and he had to sit down. He couldn't make it. And at the end, in front of me, looked at her and said, I will never make you go to the gym after this again.
Oh,
yeah. It was
awesome.
amazing. And it just makes my life.
Yeah,
So we get a lot of gym rats who used to spend 2 to 3 hours in the gym to feel really fatigued. And then they come to a class and they're like, oh God, I have so much time now. Like, I don't have to go spend so much time at the gym anymore. And it frees you up in a way. So that's why I say, like, if you want to do another workout because you love working out, that's different, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I love it. It packs a punch so quickly. Yeah, this picture's up right now, isn't it, Steve? They're seeing this one?
Oh, yeah. That's...
Yeah. So, sorry, I forgot to look that way to see if you're showing the other pictures of her while she was up there. Yeah, we've shown all those, right? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so this I just want to tell you. So this, these are the machine she's talking about is called the Megaformer, right? So that's what they look like all lined up. And I like this picture too because you just recently at the studio changed the lights. So in the morning when we come in, it looks like this, and it's really like it just gets your day started right, you know. And the back sign says what?
Oh, be a badass with a good ass.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
That's like the slogan. So that's Pilates Plus. In Studio City. And the reason we call it Pilates Plus, which was really confusing for people. So Sebastian Lagree, he started his workout in like West Hollywood. Gosh, it must be like almost 14 years ago now. And at that time, it was fairly close to Pilates. It was really, celebrities were starting to come to him. He was getting a following, and they were like, I just need to get fit faster. I have this role coming up. Like, how do I tone up quicker? So he is really intelligent. He's a very charismatic man. I love him to death. And he started to sort of figure out different ways to make it more circuit training, more cardio. And so he started to adapt his own machine, basically. And throughout the years, it's gotten farther and farther and farther away from Pilates. So when you see Pilates Plus, those are the first licensees of the workout. So Christy Vacanti is the one who owns Studio City. She also owns Woodland Hills, Encino, Malibu. She's been around since the very beginning. And that's why she's still called Pilates Plus. So a lot of the newer studios, I also work for Motivate in Glendale. They don't really use that word anymore. They sometimes use it like in the marketing a little bit, just to give you some vague idea of what you're getting into, but most of the licensees don't call it that at all anymore.
Yeah, it was even confusing to me when I was asking you about this. I'm like, wait, but I go to Pilates Plus, but I know it's not regular Pilates. But I've done that before, so
So that's right. So we also have we have a new neon sign in the window that says it's not Pilates, it's Lagree, right in the window of Pilates Plus, because we do get a lot of people that think that they're going to go to a classical reformer class, which is amazing. They're beautiful workouts. Classical Pilates started over 100 years ago in New York to rehabilitate dancers. So it was really rehabilitation based. So if you don't need rehab, then you can amp it up. And that's sort of where the idea is.
Oh, great. Very interesting. All right, so let's go to the song that you picked today for our intro. And then I want to hear how you go about making, because you have amazing playlists when we go to your class. So how does an instructor go about picking their playlist?
I have evolved over the years for sure. I think I've been teaching for almost 8 years now. When I first started so growing up, I had no interest in modern music whatsoever. I listened to the Beatles. Paul McCartney's my favorite person in the world. I'm still obsessed with him. Maybe not so much as I was when I was like 15, but it was unhealthy. I listened to a lot of classic rock, musicals, because I'm a theater nerd. So when I became a fitness instructor, I had struggled with the playlists a lot. So I play a lot of like electropop, like Robin, or sort of rock inspired, like The Darkness. There's a band called Foxy Shazam that I love so much, and I used to play a lot of that sort of rock, like weird stuff. And the clients loved it or hated it. Like some guys were like, "Oh my God, you're playing The Darkness. That's so cool." And then I would get requests for like Britney Spears and stuff. And I'm like, it is really motivating. Okay, cool. So I would start mixing in sort of pop with it. And now throughout the years, my tastes have changed so much. Like I still love my original music, but now I'm like, if it has a beat to it and it's a little quirky. So I love Macklemore. Oh gosh, what else I'm listening to?
That was the one that we heard for the intro.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely love sort of like electro funk stuff, weird. I don't know. It gets crazy. So my poor clients, have all different tastes. Like I had one woman come up to me the other day and she was like, where's the girl that used to play classic rock? I really liked her.
Oh.
She loves my workout, but she's like, I just miss that music, you know? And I'm, yeah, I do too. I love it. Okay, cool. So now I'm sort of in this phase, and it comes and goes. I get in phases where I'm mixing like current music with sort of like Queen and Kiss. And so my playlists are very eclectic, and I have so many now that it's kind of fun that like I sometimes don't play the same one every class. Like I'll get bored. I teach a lot. I teach 22 classes a week. So I've taught 22 to 25 for 8 years, which is good. I love it. It's a lot for a trainer. I think if you talk to trainers, they're like, oh, geez, like, how do you do that? Luckily, I come from a very working class background. So, like, to me, it's, you know, it's not too bad. The hardest part for me is my voice. I lose my voice over 25. I've learned that. So I do have to cut down. But in general, I just need the money. Like, I can't teach less. I wish I could. So I get bored. So, like, the first class, 5:45, is usually my test class, and I feel bad for them. I was like, you're my experiment class. I love you guys, but, like, I'll try a workout, and I'm like, oh, that transition didn't work. I need to change that for the next class. And sometimes I'll play a playlist, and I'm like, I'm just not feeling this one today. I just
And the good thing is we're still half asleep anyway, so we're not really going to be vocal about it, even if we don't like it.
Yeah, it's only when you're really into it that you leave. The 5:45 leaves, and they're like, oh, that was a good playlist today. But normally you're just staggering out.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't really care at that point.
So what was the process to get certified to teach Lagree?
Awesome. Well, when I did it, because I'm one of the older ones, unfortunately, the older ones, it was a little longer. So I actually got certified directly from Sebastian when he used to run the certifications himself. And there were only 3, I think, other girls. So he had his studio in West Hollywood. And rather than close it for the certification, because there were only like 3 of us, I actually got to go to Sebastian's house, and he had like the machines, and it's a really nice house. Like, it's nice, but he had the machine. Like, it wasn't like I was, you know, in a random apartment building or whatever. He had all the different versions of the machine there, because at the time people were still using the Proformer, and then there was an M2, there was a Megaformer 2nd edition, and this now we have the 3rd edition. So it changes, it evolves, and that was really cool. So it was like, oh, when are you available? Okay, cool, we'll do an 8-hour day that day. And it took me a few months to get through that process. And then the studio owner I worked at the time, which unfortunately she was amazing. She doesn't own studios anymore. She moved. She put me through another ringer. So if you're really lucky, you have a studio owner that's going to groom you after the certification. The certification now is a weekend. It's 2 12-hour days, which is, the people who run it are brilliant. They have it down to a science on like how to teach you the moves, the modifications, muscles, everything. And then we have this really amazing online database that's available to all certified trainers, so that people who've been to the training a long time ago can keep up with sort of the way it's changing and if there are newer moves. I mean, it's really cool. We can see videos of everything, and it's awesome. The hardest part of getting like teaching is the talking. It's not learning the fitness part. I think it's really about, oh my gosh, what am I gonna say for 2 minutes while these people are dying? Or how am I gonna get them into this next move as quickly as possible? Though that's the hardest part. So if you already have fitness background or theater, for me it was theater. I have a theater background. I have no problem talking, obviously, which is probably why you invited me on the show.
Exactly.
It's a little easier, I think, to take the degree and then jump right into teaching. If not, then to find a mentor, to have a studio owner. I actually mentor for Motivate a little bit, and I do just because I'm a nice girl and like people, and I'm like, hey, oh, you starting? Okay, cool. Like, let me teach you some tricks, which is cool. I mean, I've been doing it long enough now that like I don't feel threatened by new trainers whatsoever. Like, I'm like, oh, cool, somebody else can sub for me when I want to go out of town. Right. Let me get you ready to teach.
Yeah,
I like traveling.
Yes, you do. We'll talk about that too. All right. Well, you're not only certified with that, you also are yoga certified.
Yeah,
right?
I am. I have my 200-hour through Core Power Yoga, which is one of my favorite places to take yoga. I love it so much. That was a beautiful experience. It's nothing I ever thought I would do. And then I just had this major life event a couple years ago and was like, I need something to keep me sane. So I went right into teacher training, which was awesome. I'm not actually teaching yoga right now. I sub sometimes, random places. It's so hard because Lagree's my favorite, you know, and I just love these. So to fit other things in, it's hard. I really just do certifications for me and for my own confidence and my knowledge, and to sort of stay up on things. And also, I don't know where I'm going to be in 15 years too. So it's, you know, it's
Gives
nice.
you options.
Yeah, exactly. It sort of gives me a place where I could grow and be inspired by different things as well. I think you find inspiration all over the place in fitness. So.
And you have your personal training certification as well.
Yeah,
So
National Academy of Sports Medicine. So that was, so it goes like, I did Lagree first, and then I did Real Rider cycling because that was at one of the studios I worked at. And so I technically have a spins, but I don't know how spin instructors do it. Like, I don't really, you guys are amazing because wow.
Yeah, to talk while they do that. Yeah,
yeah,
yes, I do.
Like, even when I'm in like amazing cardio shape, I'm like, oh God, there's going to be days where like I just can't move my legs. I don't know how you guys do it. And then I did my mat Pilates through Equinox, which was great. It was a very classical mat format. And I did TRX training because that was also at a studio I worked at. And then I did National Academy of Sports Medicine, certified personal trainer, which was very awesome for me to really learn the science behind everything. And I loved that one. I don't personal train really. I just wanted it for me. And then the yoga came next. And now I'm actually looking into doing a 300-hour yoga. That would make me really happy just for me, you know, and then maybe start teaching every now and then would be good.
Yeah. Let's, while you're talking about the yoga, so you went to an amazing yoga retreat in Ireland, which we have some pictures of here. So tell us about this amazing trip.
So it's called the Cliffs of Moher Retreat, and I didn't know about it. My best friend was all of a sudden like, this is after my major life event, and she was having a major life event, and she lives in New York, and she was like, I'm going to go to Ireland to go to this yoga retreat and then travel around. Do you want to come with me? And I didn't have the money, and I was like, yes. I'm going to make this happen. So we ended up doing a weekend, like a long weekend there. We looked at the week, but we also wanted to see Ireland. So we're like, okay, I can't take 2 weeks off work. So there was a weekend yoga and hiking, and it was about 3.5 days. We did yoga twice a day. They do like amazing organic vegetarian meals that are right from the garden outside. It was the best food I've ever had and super healthy. And then you get to hike the cliffs, which was awesome. So the woman who runs it, his name's Michelle. She actually has, and I wish I should have written down the name. She has another company that does retreats all over, and then they ended up buying this property in Ireland. She's going to do, she said, a 300-hour yoga certification. So that's where I'm holding out for her so that I can go back there. They're going to do a 200. If anybody's interested, they're going to do a 200-hour, I think, in the fall. So I recommend they go for retreats. It's reasonably priced. You get to go to Ireland, which is awesome. And she is just an amazing woman with the best energy. And she sits there and talks to you during the meals and like gets to know you. And I just adore her. Yeah, that's the studio. They built it and it's literally facing the water. The best space I've ever done yoga in.
Tell everybody the name again, just in case they missed it. The first.
I'm pronouncing it right. Cliffs of Moher. I'm sure Irish people say that differently than I do. Cliffs of Moher Retreat. I follow them on Instagram. They are on Instagram, so definitely. Michelle has great content. Her stories are really fun to watch too. She takes people like to the ocean to like swim early in the morning. It was bad weather when I was there a little bit. We actually, one of the days that we had to cancel our hike because it was so windy, it was too dangerous to hike the cliff. So we did one day. One day was perfect, and then the second day was too windy.
Do you get a big fat Guinness at the end of the retreat?
The retreat is actually dry.
Oh.
I know, which is fine.
You and your wine. You got no wine then?
I got no wine at the retreat. So they say on there that there is a pub nearby that you can visit, but it is all about sort of health and wellness. But it's fine because I did the retreat first, and then I drove around Ireland, and I'm not a fan of beer. I drank half a Guinness in Ireland, and I felt terrible. So I actually found out since, which I think we want to talk about my food intolerances. I actually found out that I am allergic to brewer's yeast. So that's probably why I've never liked beer. I was like, it makes me feel terrible. But I did, however, drink a lot of whiskey.
There you go.
I'm not even in my bed. I also just came back from Italy, and I literally ate and drank everything in Italy too. Like, I'm all about like work out when you can and then live your life and So I'm building my strength back right now too.
Yeah. I want to talk, since you brought it up real quick, about the, just for our other people, because you have so many little tidbits for health and wellness. And I was really fascinated when you told me about you doing the allergy test for. So explain to people what that process is in case anybody is interested.
So I was having some rashing issues, and I've always had issues with my midsection, always. Like even when I lose a bunch of weight, and my best friend is a bodybuilder and a personal trainer. She's a bikini competitor and everything, and she's vegan. And one day she gets on me about like not wearing bikinis. I love her, but she hates my little one piece thing, and she's like, wear a bikini. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like I have, my tummy. And she's like, you're so thin right now. Like, I don't get it. And so one day I showed her. I was like, no, I know I'm really thin. Like I've dropped like 30 pounds, and look at and she's like, something's wrong. Because I was distended, basically. And so it's something I've been dealing with a long time. And I tried to go through my insurance for allergy testing, and it was such a process. They like only wanted to test me for cosmetics. I'm like, I think it's something I'm eating. So I just got mad, basically. And I talked to my friend who I work out at Motivate. And she's like a natural nutritionist. She's really amazing. Elemental G, if you want to check her out on Instagram. And she told me about these food intolerance tests that you can do. I ended up going for the ALCAT. And I went through directlabs.com and just ordered it myself and then got my blood drawn and sent it to them. They took 6 vials of blood, and they basically tested me for all the food intolerances. And the craziest thing was I'd been taking this multivitamin for a year, and it had anchovies in it. And I am apparently allergic to anchovies, like severely reactive to anchovies. So I was taking this pill every day going, I'm trying to be healthy. Yeah. And I was really reactive to it. So the other thing, that my top 3 is cabbage, spelt. Everyone's like, what's spelt? I don't know what spelt is. It's in whole grains. So people were like, maybe you're allergic, maybe you're gluten intolerant. Like, and I'm like, I don't think so. It's only sometimes. So I think the days I was rashing, and we're literally talking like head to toe, full body rashes, were the days that I was taking my multivitamin and then eating something with spelt in it. So you get your severe reactive foods, which for me was only 3, thank God. And then you get your moderate, which is a pretty long list for me, and then mild, and then you get all these green foods that like your body doesn't inflame. And when I say reactive, I mean inflammation. It actually inflames your gut. So for the mild foods, you're supposed to give them up for 3 months. The moderate, you're supposed to give up for 6 months. The severe, you just need to avoid. And my moderates are really scary, guys. I like avocado, chocolate. I haven't had chocolate in a month. I think that's a life record for me, but I'm actually okay, like, because I feel so empowered by the knowledge, and I feel within a week I felt night and day different. Like my energy was through the roof, and I had been really lethargic before. Like I would work out, go home, take a nap for like nap. I mean like 2 hours, 3 hours. I would call them epic naps. My boyfriend would laugh at me. He's like, oh, you're going to nap. Okay. You're going to sleep in the day? Okay. Yeah. And now I don't even need to. It's awesome. Yeah. So definitely check that out. Talk to a nutritionist if you have any questions. I think everyone should do it now. I'm totally
so interesting.
Yeah.
Well, one thing else I want to talk about before, but we still have a little time, is one thing I love about you is your posts on Instagram, and how, like, you kind of told me when we were talking, like, you're more like the real person kind of trainer. Like, I think in Hollywood, there are so many, like extremely fit people, and, I think that some people, things like that might seem like out of reach, or it seems too perfect, all their posts and what they post. And what I love on your Instagram is you're real with it. Like, you talk about your good days, your bad days, you give like good inspiration for people, and you share like stories about yourself. And like, for example, this was one that you posted, and I think maybe you had, I want to talk about this because I think you maybe got some backlash from people like for this, and then just how you're kind of navigating through like being vulnerable and willing to share this stuff on Instagram, and dealing with the people who, may have unkind things to say, or say you're sharing too much, or why do you say this, or what, so I wanted to hear about how, your mission to help people on Instagram. But this is one you put that I liked. You just said, I'm going to get real with you. I think it's important to hear from people about struggles as well as successes. No one is perfect. It's silly to project the image that we are. Today, I am feeling low. I'm disappointed in my lack of strength gain. I miss feeling like a badass in class. And I lost my beautiful dog on Thanksgiving, and my heart has been aching for his companionship. My weight has yo-yoed since my divorce, and I'm feeling the financial stress of that life change too. Normally, I'm pretty good at shaking off these burdens and getting moving. So many people have much more serious challenges than these. I have so much to be grateful for. Today is not one of those days. Today is a crawl back in bed, take a big nap, order Thai for dinner, binge some Netflix, and try again tomorrow kind of day. Why am I writing all this and sharing it on my fitness page? Because it's okay to not be killing it all the time. It's okay to let yourself have all your feelings without guilt about being a hot mess. It's definitely okay to pause and recharge and reset and start over. Tomorrow is a new day with a whole new set of opportunities to rock. Give yourself a break when you need it. That's what I'm going to do right now. Hashtag self-care. And then the next day you posted one and you were rocking it. So I know, I just like it because
I needed that day.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
I think that that's something that it's taken me a long time to come to terms with and like maybe be at peace with, I think, being a trainer in LA. I also moved here as an actor, which I don't always do. And that's partially because I'm not very nice to myself sometimes when I'm going out there for auditions. I wish I was that person that could just be like, I'm me and it's fine. And I'm not. I've been a person who struggled with confidence issues my whole life. With fitness, like there are so many people that I think are phenomenal in my business that are given like titles that I may never have because I don't have an aspirational body. I struggle all the time. I'm a little thicker right now. You know what I mean? Because I went to Italy and I ate everything and I don't regret it one bit. It was awesome. Yeah. It was amazing. But so I think that it's important, like scrolling Instagram can be so rough on me. And I'm assuming if it's rough on me, then it must be rough on everyone else too. To see all of the super hot people on there. And the people who talk about their diet and they're so good with it. And I'm like, man, I just want some pizza sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, like, you know. But so I think that it's important to see that people who are even in the industry struggle too. And I do. I struggle all the time. Most of the time I'm okay, you know. So I'm like shifting your values, I think is important. It's not about having a perfect body because you know it's not going to stick around forever either. Like you're going to go through ebbs and flows in your life. Like divorce was number one for me. Like I dropped so much weight because I could not eat. I just couldn't eat. I was so sick to my stomach. I was heartbroken. So I lost a lot of muscle too at that time. Like I was very weak because I wasn't feeling my body. So to find goals that are maybe healthier, like for me right now, it's just like, look at me and just go, hey, she works out. Thank you. That's it. That's all I need. Or to be like, let me hold my plank a little longer today. Mental strength is something I usually struggle with a lot. And Lagree Fitness is rough. Like it's not even just physically rough. Like it's mentally rough on you because you don't want to stay in something when it's very uncomfortable. So, which I think is part of the reason I got so into it when I first started, because mentally it just made me sort of have to hang in if I wanted the changes to happen. So that finding those goals are more important, I think, than having abs for summer. So like I joke with the clients about being, oh, you know, summer's coming, but I'm also like, hey, you know what? Like there's some really cute retro bathing suits out there right now that go for everything. Like don't worry about it. Just feel good, feel toned, feel healthy. That, you know, the way that you can, that's healthy for you, that you're not going to beat yourself up if you don't look like someone else. I mean, like I said, my best friend is a bikini competitor. I love her.
She was on here too. I
love her. Yeah. I love her. But I'm also like, you know, I'm not even going to try to compare myself to her. I'm going to her house in a few weeks and we're going to be at the pool. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. I don't care anymore. Like, you know, just get my workouts in, do the best I can to eat well. And then share the days that aren't good so that other people don't feel, why are we making people feel bad, you know?
Yeah. No, I love it because it's I think it just, I definitely go through those times, and I felt just like that too, where I'm like, gosh, you know, or it's already May, and all these goals that I set forth in January none of them have happened, you know, and like it's just you're just constantly beating yourself up,
and you're like,
tough.
But it's only May.
Yeah, I did already today. I was like, okay, the next 6 months of 2018 are gonna kick ass.
My goal this year was to get upside down in yoga class, to do a I can't. I have like a really bad shoulder issue, and my shoulders, I baby them a little bit because of my shoulder issue. Like I almost don't risk a little. And so I'm like, I'm just going to take it really slow, step by step, and I'm going to get upside down this year. And now I'm like, oh crap, it's May. And I'm like, haven't worked my shoulders at all. So I did. I started like last week. I was like, okay, I got time.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a handstand. maybe,
I believe in
maybe
you.
a headstand. Maybe not a headstand. That's a lot.
Awesome. Well, let's also talk briefly on if there's any, since we talk fashion here on TomGirl a little bit, any like workout clothes that you're loving right now. That you advise to people.
Tying into inspirational versus aspirational bodies and whatever. Beyond Yoga. I don't know if you follow them on Instagram. I love their pants. So my favorite is the space. I'm actually wearing them right now. My favorite is the space dye. They're recycled fibers. They're high. You can get the high waisted ones, and they don't. I don't know how they do it. There's no elastic, and they don't roll down. They don't slide. They're amazing. I don't know. This pair, I think I bought like 4 pairs of the same pants, and I literally wear them all the time. And maybe they're not like super compression, which I went through a phase where I loved compression pants, and now I just can't face them anymore. Like I'm uncomfortable in them, so I don't really care if they're like holding me in to look my skinniest. I just want them to stay in place and feel comfortable. So these are my favorite. And then they also just have this really beautiful body positive campaign, and you get to see all of these women of like different shapes and sizes and ethnicities in their clothes, and it's just like rocking the sports bra. And I just think it's gorgeous. And that's the stuff I want to see on Instagram. It's like people who, if that chick does yoga and she eats really healthy, and you know what, she's not a size 2, that's fine. And so they're kind of the brand I'm the most excited about right now. I do also love Athleta's tops, because I don't like tight clothing. I never have. I've just always like loose, comfy stuff. And their tops, they have a lot of them that just like graze, and they're kind of flowy, which, so I think I buy like probably 80% of my tops through Athleta.
All right. Good stuff. All right, we're about to the time now. Each week we pick a TomGirl of the week. So we've already talked about her, but this TomGirl of the week, because it's so fitting, is Meghan Markle. So because she also goes to Lagree, God, I'm going to say that over and over.
Not my class.
Place.
I'm not going to name drop her. I never worked Meghan Markle out, but I love the royal family, so I think she's super cool.
she does the workout is what I'm saying, and is a big fan of it, getting shape for her roles, which she won't be doing anymore now that she's given that all up. And just congratulations to her, because the big wedding's coming up Saturday, right?
Oh my gosh, it's so soon. I don't know. I remember that the last wedding, I stayed up to watch it. Like I stayed up all night and had to work next morning.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "You could just watch it after." I'm like, "No, I need to watch it." I will. So if are they going to televise this one?
I think so. I think it's all a whole big.
I know what I'm doing this
Put your
weekend.
fascinator on.
Yeah. For real. I'm gonna like drink the tea. I have a tea set. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm a total Anglophile. I have a full like Royal Albert tea set that's gonna come out for the wedding. Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, not only just because of the workout, but also just because of all of the charity and philanthropy work that she's done. And interesting thing I learned about her was that at age 11, she wrote a letter to Procter & Gamble, Hillary Clinton, Linda Ellerbee, and Gloria Allred to complain about copy that was in an advertising a commercial for dish soap. The copy said, "Women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans." She wrote the letter and wanted them to change it to "people all over America." All of those people wrote her back, which is pretty fantastic. That those names she looked up and wrote at that age, they all wrote her back, and they actually changed the campaign.
Wow.
So at 11, she was already out there fighting for women and doing her thing. So she is our TomGirl of the week.
That's cool.
Okay, so before we wrap tonight, want to give any advice for people out there who may want to go into a career in fitness, about how they would look into getting their certification in places, how they, any recommendations you have for them?
Yeah, I think that maybe start personal trainer. I think the NASM is it's a National Academy of Sports Medicine is a really well recognized one. You can study it from home. I actually paid extra. Did like this online accountability course because I'm like not a good self-study. So they like gave me weekly quizzes and deadlines and things. I got a lot of knowledge from that. And then if that can get you started, because it gives you the credential that people know. And then from there, I think just try workouts, like experiment. ClassPass is a really good way to do it. ClassPass is amazing. ZenRez, I don't know, it's an app where you can get discounted classes right before sort of day of.
ZenRez? How do you spell that?
Yeah, ZenRez.
Oh, Rez, like
yeah, ZenRez. So the day of, like, they'll just discount classes on there. So try things. Like I loved spin. I didn't think I would ever love spin, but with a good instructor, spin can be super fun. So that's something that I don't know if I could ever teach it, but like I took it. Yoga. I love yoga. Like there's things there's so many workouts now, bar workouts,
Yeah.
like experiment. And then if you have that fitness credential first, like these people might even be willing to train you because they need good instructors. So if you're passionate and you show that and you don't just want to sort of do it for something to do, like if you're really passionate about it, even as a side gig, you prove that by getting a little knowledge first, and then go to those people and be like, hey, will you you have to help me. Like, will you train me? Because a good trainer who's dedicated is like worth their weight in gold, really.
Yeah, great. That's great advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for coming and on the show. It was great to hear from you. And tell everybody again where they can follow you on Instagram.
Fun.fit.lacey.
Awesome. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Bright and early.
Or dark and early at that point, but
Requests? Do you have any requests?
ooh, let me think on that one.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. I'm so glad we're back. I missed you the last 2 weeks. We'll be here now steadily for a while, so hope you join us every Tuesday. You can follow the show at TomGirl TV. You can also follow me on the side at jj.jurgens, and we'll see you here next week. Have a great one. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.